What if I told you that there's a routine that can improve your life within one day? You don't have to wake up at 4 AM or run a marathon before you go to school. You only have to use 7 incredibly easy steps that are so easy that everybody can use them starting tomorrow. My name is Noah and I've been into the self-improvement space for multiple years now. And it took me 7 years of trial and error to build the #1 routine for teenagers. But if you can pay attention for only 5 minutes, I can teach you how to use it. The first thing you have to do is planning your day the day before. Because the most annoying thing when you wake up is not knowing what to work on. In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to give you a couple of habits that you can use, of course, but in a bit, we're also going to talk about working on your goals. And in these deep work sessions, you need to know what to do. So the day before, make a schedule. It takes you like 5 minutes of all the things that you want to do during a day. Now, the next morning, you can decide to wake up late at like 9 or 10 AM or maybe even later. But trust me, if you want to get the max out of your day, waking up early is really a life hack. You don't have to wake up at 4 or 5 AM unless you like to do that, of course. But personally, when I wake up between 6 and 8 AM, put in some work before I go to school, my day is just so much better. You see, early in the morning, nobody interrupts you and you can just do your own thing. And that's awesome if you want to do a workout, finish some homework or work on your goals. Okay, so imagine you woke up at like 7 AM. What's the first thing that you're going to do? Well, most people put on some clothes, start brushing your teeth and all the normal things you have to do. But there's actually one small thing that you can add on to this, which makes your morning instantly so much better. Instantly, what I do when I wake up is I like to listen to something that I call super audios. Super audios are basically videos from 10 to 50 minutes that contain the most valuable clips from podcasts. There are super audios about finance, productivity, motivation, discipline, and much more. And honestly, if you listen to these kind of inspirational things the first thing in the morning, you do something that's called priming your day. Have you ever woken up with a lot of energy and excitement and just during the entire day you kept that energy and excitement? Well, that's because you started your day in a positive way. Unfortunately, most people do not always wake up like this, but you can prime your day that you start in this positive way by listening to super audios. Now, honestly, I've listened to dozens of hours of these super audios and they've changed my life. And after listening for so many hours, I also managed to select the ones that were absolutely the most valuable. Now, I put these audios in my community, which you can join completely for free, by the way, so make sure to check it out with the link in the description. Now, I found out that early in the morning, you're by far the most productive and creative, so that's why it's important to do step number 4, which is getting some deep work done. It's amazing if you can work for around 90 minutes on your goals, finishing homework or whatever you want to do. If you do this deep work in the morning, you can get so much stuff done. And actually, I'm recording this video in my deep work session because it's like 9 AM right now, and I can feel that I'm so much more productive compared to if I would record this after school. So make sure to include some deep work in your schedule. Speaking about a schedule, I actually created a free document you can download in the description that contains a schedule with all of these steps included. So make sure to download it completely for free with the link in the description. Now, after my deep work session, I like to move on to step number 5, which has honestly been one of the most positive habits of my life. And when people ask me, hey Noah, what's the most valuable self-improvement habit that I can do? I always reply with this habit, and that's gratitude journaling. You see, we often tend to focus on the negative in our daily life, but if you switch your focus to the positive, aka gratitude, you mostly just start to appreciate everything, and because of that, you enjoy your daily life so much more. So what I do for around 10 minutes is write down 3 things that I'm incredibly grateful for. And not just I'm grateful for my life, I'm grateful for my health, I'm grateful for my parents, but like a real description of why you're grateful for this, and then make sure to feel grateful for it. For example, I'm incredibly grateful that you're watching this video, because without you, this channel wouldn't be anything at all. So write down at least 3 things that you're grateful for, plus an explanation of why you're grateful for it. Wait, before we continue, if this video is valuable to you, make sure to quickly subscribe so you never miss another video. Now, after these 5 steps, I usually have to go to school. So for the next 5 to 6 hours, I usually just take classes in school. Now, it doesn't matter if you have to go to school, to work, or do something different. Just make sure that from this time until like dinner time, you put in more deep work sessions. Because if I have a day off, I usually just work until it gets time for dinner. Now, as soon as you've done that, you come home from work, school, or something different, it's really important to move on to step number 7, which is working out. You see, working out is not just good for your physical health, it's also good for your mental health. Because after you've worked out, your brain actually releases a couple of hormones which makes you feel really good. So every single day, try to do some form of workout. And after you finish that workout, it's probably starting to get pretty late already. Now, there are 3 things that I personally do before I go to bed, which is so valuable to you if you actually use them, so pay attention for 1 more minute. First, I read this list that contains all of my goals, which remembers me of why I'm doing what I'm doing every single day, which by the way also gives you motivation to wake up early in the morning. After that, I do a day recap where I write down 4 things. First of all the productive things that I've done in a day. Second of all, the things that I've eaten. Third, all the things that I learned during a day. And finally, 3 things that I'm grateful for. This really helps you to reflect on your day and works awesome. Finally, before I actually go to bed, I read for a couple of minutes minutes to focus on the positive before I actually go to sleep. After that, I also like to visualize my goals, and then I finally go to sleep. And when I wake up in the morning, I repeat the cycle once again. Now, what I've just explained to you in the past couple of minutes is a routine that I've been doing for years now. Now make sure to join my community with the link in the description to get access to these super audios and more.